Hi everybody, so I'm gonna discuss this real quick before I go to my dad's birthday party. As you know, as many of you remembered, me and my dad have this frenemy relationship growing up. And I'm gonna talk about why it's that way, and if I've learned to, if I've got to know my dad, to kind of learn to get to know how my dad was as a child versus and to this day. So as you all know, my dad had been really I guess you could say aggressive, but not in the way that he generally wants to be. But what's it called? I do have to admit that yes, my dad can be an asshole sometimes, and if people tell me like your dad is an asshole at times, and this is how I am, I know that he is one at times, and although it's a little odd to say that this is just how my dad is. And I'm not gonna lie, some of his behavior is unacceptable. I might hate the way he behaves, the way he deals with everything, and the way he takes some insults that are not that bad, like very, very, very seriously. Like if you just say shut up to him, he'll just go in ballistic from that. And versus me, obviously if you tell me shut up, I probably won't react the way that he does, but I kind of show that real talk called keeping it real. So the one thing that I don't really like is the fact that the way he behaved when I was a child, and the way he's treated in the past. Like I'm not gonna go into further detail what happened to him in the past. And while I feel bad that my dad went through what he went through, the way he reacts, and the way that he has this introverted life is pretty devastating, because and even though yes, I do admit I can take things pretty hard, because my sisters kind of learned that the punishment that they get is will make them used to my dad. And me, on the other hand, my dad and I just don't get along that way, because he tries to punish me, but I often resist it, because although my dad was kind of stuck up at times, like where he says he can't admit to his own mistakes, and I'm gonna be honest, even though you should own up to your mistakes, I feel like you should take a break from someone, and then wait a while, and then you admit to your mistakes. And although that's happened to me, because I've owned up to several mistakes in the past, my dad was the type of person that it's very hard for him to admit that what he did was wrong. And I slightly don't blame him, because he went through a rough childhood, and I told him, like, I'm sorry that he went through it, but I'm the offspring, and he should know how to accept the fact that he is who he is, and I can't change everything. That I can't change his personality. I can't change entirely 100% of his behavior. So, example, like, I kind of learned to accept that my dad can be mentally ill, like he's mentally ill, and this is why we're having the celebration, because you know the best thing you can do for my dad is treat him with love and respect, even though yes it's really weird to try to do that for him, because I do admit he can be really salty, but like if you show that you love him, he probably will it'll probably only help for the time of, for example, like we're obviously going to be civil during the outing on my dad's birthday, but he and I just don't get along in that way. But that doesn't mean that I don't care about him. I'm always going to care about him because I'm his son. But when he goes through these mentally schizophrenic episodes, it's to the point like where that's when you need to be prepared that things are going to go really down, because me and my dad, I do admit that there's things that I have that I have to accept who I am. So one thing that I accept who I am was I am gonna be, I guess you could say, someone who doesn't want to, how do I say this? Like, I kind of accepted the fact that me and my dad are going to have this love-hate relationship no matter what anyone says. And although I do hate the way that he behaves, sometimes we'll have fights. Well, mostly arguments, but there are a few times where fights have gone physical. But my dad is someone that like you just don't really want to be on his bad side. And same with me, because although I'm pretty much, my dad's more the aggressive one. I'm pretty passive when it comes to some fights and arguments like that, because because I'm the type of person that will like discuss some negativity, or discuss what we can do to stop it. So in a way, my dad and I still love each other, and I would be pissed off if someone was to hurt my dad, that's gonna be there, because it's like no one messes with my dad but me, because he's my dad, first off, and he's not someone that you'd wanna go on to the bad side. So, but one thing that I learned to accept is I am pretty much someone that will not necessarily take no for an answer, but I'm someone that won't really, like, I'm the type of person that will never really, like, I will use my opinionated stuff to make others feel that they're wrong, that they're incorrect, and although I do come off as I do admit that I can sometimes come off as like that cursing and that type of individual. I swear a lot. You all know that I curse a lot, and the fact that my self-defense, the way I self-defend myself, the opponent usually ends up with some form of damage or injury. So and I'm also known to be like one of those people that doesn't really, like, we just kind of learn to accept that we have our flaws and something that we can't change, but we can manage some stuff, and we're not always the best when it comes to relationships growing up, but we're just not the type of people that would get along like that. But at the same time, we still love and care about each other. He's my dad. He's he's the reason why I'm living to this day. So, but I just feel like that what I went through in the past with him is just like, from my experience with living with my dad, he is someone that I would not get on his bad side if you do plan to roommate, or if you plan to be attendant at the house, because you just don't want to be on his bad side no matter what. And I do admit that sometimes I can come off as someone who will lash someone out, but there were times like where I just tell them like Dad, stop it, just don't worry about what they said. But and I can't fault him, because he's not the type of person that you would really want to get into his bad side. And same here, but I tend to be more calm until like my buttons are pushed. But we're just the type of people that we just handle negativity differently. We both can't handle negativity like that. And I do know that can be a troll at times. Like, I can troll people at times, but it's just how it is. And whatever I'm doing is not, like, as long as it's not illegal, I have the right to curse someone out. I have the right to say this and that, and people, and of course, obviously I curse a lot, and I insult people with the most cruelest insults. It's just how it is. But we just don't get along in that way, but we still love each other. And do I hate him? No. Do I think that he's an asshole sometimes? Often. But I don't think he really deserves to have poor treatment. I mean, yes, he should be held accountable for some of his actions, but I don't think he would be the type of person to get on his bad side. But anyways, my sister's here, so I'll be right back. And I'll tell you how the party is. Bye.